Hello, this is the audio version of Parkrun magazine. Thanks so much for listening. Each episode of the audio magazine will share hints and tips about getting started on a more active lifestyle, as well as stories about the people and communities around parkrun events. Hello again. This is episode 4 of the third series of the audio version of Parkrun magazine. Coming up in this episode, we find out more about how parkrun has been working for years in UK prisons. We also say a big hello to CBeebies star and parkrun superfan George Webster. But first, who fancies a trip to beautiful Wales? Come on up to 2 of the highest parkruns in the UK, but mind the geese. Bryn Bach Saturday Parkrun and Sunday Junior Parkrun events take parkrunners around a magnificent lake, which looks stunning all year round.
During the 18th and 19th centuries, Bryn Bach found itself at the heart of the burgeoning Industrial Revolution when coal, limestone and ironstone were all extracted from the land. But during the second half of the 20th century, the area was transformed into a stunning park, featuring 138 hectares, that's 340 acres, of grass and woodland, and a 14.5 hectare, 36-acre lake. The Saturday 5K course is 2 flat laps of the lake on asphalt paths, with the water in sight at all times. The lake is absolutely gorgeous, event director Leah Hearn told us. Sunday's junior 2K route goes in the opposite direction, but the lake is still always in view. It's beautiful in the summer when the sun is glistening off it, explained to us by Arlene Osman, Bryn Bach Junior Parkrun's event director, and so pretty in the winter when it's frozen over. Lee speaks a little more frankly about winter conditions. Sometimes in the winter months it's absolutely Baltic up there, he laughs, especially when the wind is coming from the north. After walking, jogging, running or volunteering around a stunning water feature, what better way to continue your day than making time for a cuppa? The cafe is right on the finish line, and I've got to say it's absolutely superb, Lee declares. It's a great community feeling there. Arlene is super proud of the vibe of the junior event. It's a special atmosphere that's created by all our amazing community, she explains. The volunteers come week in, week out, without any regard for the weather. We have regular children every week, and it's fantastic to see them progress and just be happy to take part. Let's say hello to some of the Bryn Bach family, starting with Linda Hoskins, a regular on Sundays. She told us that her parkrun journey began when she finished Couch to 5K in 2017. She says she still feels the same elation finishing each week as she did the first time. She told us she's received so much support, had plenty of fun, and made friends for life along the parkrun path. Kath Jervis, another Saturday regular, told us that Bryn Bach Parkrun supports all abilities and encourages participants along their parkrun journey. She is personally proud to have volunteered more than 175 times and completed more than 150 parkruns while making lots of friends along the way. We also had a word with Cass, whose daughters Liv and Isla love coming to Junior Parkrun. Cass told us that Liv enjoys a chance to be Sonic the Hedgehog and practice her running while chatting with her dad. Meanwhile, big sister Isla volunteers with Cass. Cass explained that volunteering is brilliant for helping Isla with her confidence. How about a few fun facts about the Bryn Bach parkruns? At 396 metres, 1,300 feet above sea level, Bryn Bach lays claim to being the highest altitude parkrun in the UK. Thankfully, after the climb to get there, the course is lovely and flat. The Saturday event was the 3rd parkrun in Wales, starting on the 1st of September 2012. You might find yourself sharing the footpath with just a few geese. Sometimes you actually have to go through the geese, explains Leah Hearn. They're not going to hurt you, even though they can look quite frightening. Arlene Osman adds, the geese generally move away when there are people on the path, but we often have to do some brushing beforehand to clear up after them. Arlene also told us how warm-ups for Junior Parkrun on Sundays are always fun. We usually get the children to help us, she says. Regular helpers Maisie and Morgan always get very excited about joining in. So, after all that, if you're interested in coming along to Bryn Bach Saturday or Junior Parkrun, Here's some info about how to get there and a couple more fun facts about the course. You'll find Bryn Bach Parkrun and Junior Parkrun at Park Bryn Bach, Mether Road, Tredegar. The postcode is NP223AY. There are 2 stations nearby. Travel by train from Cardiff Central either to Rhymney or Ebbw Vale. Then you'll need to take the bus. From Rhymney, catch the 20, and from Ebbw Vale, hop on board the E11. You can walk from Tredegar. It's only a couple of miles, or there are plenty of bicycle bays. If you're cycling, follow National Cycle Routes 46 or 467. Did you know that when marathon running legend Steve Jones comes over from the USA, he's been known to pop into Bryn Bach Parkrun to say hello? And there's a legendary marshal spot. On a Sunday, Rose volunteers at Sheep Corner, says Arlene Osman, at the top of the path where there are bronze sheep statues and the sheep have been known to send Rose a birthday card.
Perfect. Everything we always wanted to know about Bryn Bach Parkrun. Perhaps you're now feeling inspired to pay them a visit. Now let's hear about a parkrun initiative that not many people know about. Parkruns have been taking place on the custodial estate in the UK since the inaugural event at HMP Haverig in 2017. There are now 21 parkruns in custodial settings in the UK, and more than 10,000 people have walked, jogged, run or volunteered at an event. For issue 3 of the printed magazine, journalist Matt Ward found out more. Here's his story.
If you're turning up at 9 o'clock on a Saturday in a custodial setting, it's pretty much the same as what would happen in Bushy Park, Berlin or wherever. That's what James Thomas, Parkrun UK's Outreach and Engagement Officer, told us. And he's right. The environment may be a little different, but the parkrun ethos remains the same. There is a huge sense of achievement and inclusivity among participants, whether they're walking, jogging, running or volunteering. Obviously, there are more considerations for a custodial parkrun event, such as space. They don't have miles and miles of open tarmac or tracks, James explained to us. But the main emphasis is to make it as close to the event in the community as possible. Parkrun generates a wider awareness of happy and healthy lifestyles. Each parkrun on the custodial estate provides a welcoming, non-judgmental and positive community that can help to support reintegration into society. And James has regular conversations with Ministry of Justice staff about the rehabilitation and resettlement of offenders, a key goal of many prisons. Parkrun can be an important tool in improving an offender's self-esteem or social integration skills, thanks to that sense of well-being that every parkrunner gets from a Saturday morning event. Michelle Glassop is the Business Community Engagement Manager for Resettlement at His Majesty's Young Offender Institution Feltham in West London. Feltham houses male juveniles aged 15 to 21 and is fast approaching its 100th parkrun. Michelle has been involved in parkrun at Feltham since the first event in 2019 and has seen real benefits in the weekend environment. It just makes for such a positive Saturday morning, Michelle told us. It also reflects the outside, as the boys are aware that parkruns are happening all over the country at the same time, and they can compare their efforts and tell their family and friends about it, which makes them feel part of something. Michelle acts as run and event director, and her sister, who also works at Feltham, scans barcodes and processes the results. They manage the route with other staff and volunteers. Feltham also has community days every 6 weeks, where ambassadors, mentors, local businesses and clubs come in to create community connections and advocate parkrun. John McAvoy, the Ironman triathlete who spent time in prison for armed robbery, but who found redemption through sport and now tries to help others to change their lives, is an amazing ambassador for Feltham Parkrun, Michelle explained. He comes in as often as he can. The events have been an instant success, and from there we have decided that every 6 weeks we'll have a community parkrun and we'll invite people who can take part with the boys too, which has created a fantastic community connection. Keith Thurston is a physical education instructor at His Majesty's Prison in Downview, a women's prison in Surrey. He was inspired by Feltham. It's obviously a different event here because of the location and layout of the site, But Michelle gave me an idea of how we could make it work, he explained to us. The sense of community and inclusion is highly prevalent at Downview, and Keith is certain that seeing is believing when looking to encourage new park runners. Once the women have seen people take part, that inspires them more to come and get involved. When we do our gym induction, which we do every Thursday, we explain to the women about parkrun, but we don't enforce it on them. I'll just tell them how parkrun functions and I'll show them the route, he told us. I tell them that they can walk it, they can talk to their friends. I think the major part for the females here is the mental side of it, and I'm told by many of the women that when they are doing parkrun, their headspace isn't in prison. Parkrun has made a real difference to Downview residents, including Mary, not her real name. She's a key member of our parkrun community and our parkrun representative, Keith told us, and every Friday afternoon she'll pop in to make sure it's set up. She'll do a talk and briefing with any new park runners. Mary has still got a long time to serve, so this is something that she holds on to. It's evident that parkrun has had a hugely positive impact in the custodial estates that hold events. This is in part through the valuable work being carried out by Keith, Michelle, James and many others here in the UK, alongside similar programmes in Australia and Ireland. And with such enthusiasm and momentum, there is a very bright future for parkrun events in the custodial setting. I think these events can have a really big impact in terms of rehabilitation, James concluded. It's about having the people who need it the most being part of a community and having a new sense of identity of being a park runner. And when they re-enter society, they immediately have a sense of purpose. Participation at custodial parkrun events is via authorised invitation only. Please refrain from contacting any custodial parkrun event teams directly.
Now we're going to pay a visit to a parkrun event on the custodial estate. Berwyn Parkrun takes place at His Majesty's Prison Berwyn in Wales. This prison is home to around 1,800 male prisoners. Matt Ward went along to a Saturday event. Here's his story, spoken by an actor.
It's nearly 9 o'clock on a chilly January Saturday morning. Hundreds of parkrun participants are chatting away, sharing stories and awaiting the run director's briefing. This could be any parkrun in the world, but we're inside one of the UK's custodial estates. Parkrun at HMP Berwyn was instigated in 2017 by Andy Mountain, one of the facility's physical education instructors. There's an overriding sense that the benefits of parkruns stretch far wider than the merely physical. Andy encourages the men to volunteer. It gives them empowerment and a sense of responsibility for their fellow inmates, Andy explains. One such volunteer is Dave, not his real name, today's tailwalker. Basically, it gets you out of your cell, he says. It's good for fitness, mental health and general well-being, and it's just good to be out with the lads during parkrun. There are lads here from different house blocks, different wings, that won't normally see each other and that are getting to meet today. Also, some of the guys might not have very good social skills, and parkrun means they'll be able to learn how to talk to people, especially if they're not used to speaking to other prisoners. Today's run director is Mick, also not his real name, a prisoner at HMP Berwyn. Prisoners, staff and volunteers speak highly of him, emphasising his energy and encouraging nature. We've got 3 house blocks here today, Mick says. For many, it's a social thing. They come down here and they're all chatting away, and sometimes there are the faster park runners who'll do a different pace so they can catch up with their friends and offload some problems or anything like that. It's become such a tradition now, he adds, and so many of the lads talk about it. We can't normally handle many more than 120 taking part due to the nature of the site, so we have a waiting list now, which is pretty amazing when you think about how we started 5 years ago with just a handful of guys. Brian, not his real name, is taking part in his 114th event. I was on the very first parkrun here, he remembers. It really sorts out my mental health, which is a big thing. If I'm ever feeling down, it's a great thing to do, and I just think parkrun is a brilliant thing to get involved in. This sense of improvement in self-esteem is not lost on the staff at Berwyn either. Nora Keller is head of reducing reoffending at the prison and a keen parkrunner herself. Her role is also focused on creating pathways to release. From a well-being side of things, I think it's that headspace that it gives the prisoners, she says. It gives them a sense of not only personal pride and well-being, but also the pride that they can help and support other people, which is so important in a rehabilitation pathway. Ricky Hislop, head of physical education and well-being, says, "We really try and emphasise to the lads that parkrun will help them in the future too. We've had guys who've left here and joined parkrun on the outside, and they've gone on to get their families involved. Every time we do an event, we take pictures, and in turn, the guys who take part want those pictures to send to their families to say, 'Look, I've just done this. I'm doing this every week.' So it's a fact that parkrun is not only doing good on the inside of HMP Berwyn, but also on the outside of the custodial setting." The impact of parkrun at HMP Berwyn is summed up by Governor Nick Leader. "The way that people support each other and work with each other at our parkrun here is incredible," he says. "The thing that we hope to be able to promote in future is the link through the gate," he explains. "This is the chance for prisoners to have a sense of normality. They want a parkrun inside a custodial setting, but after release, fostering connections that will hopefully help to support them to turn their back on crime for good."
What a fascinating story. It's amazing to see that parkrun is helping prisoners with health and well-being in just the same way it helps parkrunners at events outside the custodial system. And now for something completely different. If you had to describe actor and CBeebies presenter George Webster using one word, that word could be positivity. It could be courage or role model. Okay, that's 2 words. But when you meet George, it quickly becomes apparent that he is all of those words, and many, many more. In issue 3 of the printed magazine, we caught up with the actor and CBeebies presenter to find out what parkrun means to him. Both sides of the interview are spoken by an actor.
George Webster is such a busy man, with television, acting and dancing commitments. It's a wonder he has time for all the things he does. We asked George to tell us how he first got involved in parkrun. George started out volunteering at Woodhouse Moor Parkrun in Leeds when he was 13 because one of his best friends, Bev, thought it would be something that he would enjoy. He thought it was a good idea. He told us, "When I went for the first time, I loved it. It was really fun." So what did George like most about volunteering? He says, "I met a lot of amazing people and made loads and loads of great friends. I have done most of the volunteering roles, scanning, marshalling, tokens, even co-directing the event. When I was younger, I liked to collect the tokens. I had a special George's bag which was made for me. They still use it now at Woodhouse Moor." After a couple of years volunteering, George decided to try to complete the course for the first time. We asked him all about how that happened. George told us that his dad asked him if he wanted to run parkrun. He remembers, "I said yes, but I kept stopping at a bench and having to chill out. After that, I was studying for my BTech in sport and exercise science, and one part of that was creating a training program, and I set myself the goal of running the whole of a parkrun. Creating that training program really helped me at parkrun, and since then, I have been running parkrun as well as volunteering. I completed my 100th event at Woodhouse Moor in February 2023. George has volunteered at more than 100 parkruns and completed more than 100 events. So we asked him which aspects of parkrun he enjoys the most. He told us he enjoys everything at parkrun. He says it's like a community. Lots of people come from different walks of life, and it's a time when you can catch up with your friends even when you're running. You can catch up with your friends after the parkrun, having a coffee in the cafe. You can cheer the walkers, joggers and runners on. It's really just a great fun event. And through parkrun, I have made really good friends. Plus, I make new friends every week." George is something of a parkrun veteran now. So we asked him what advice he had give to someone who was thinking that they would like to start with parkrun. He said, "My advice would be, go to parkrun. Go to parkrun because it is really fun. You don't need to run the whole thing. You can walk it, you can jog it. Parkrun is for everyone, for people from different backgrounds. It is really inclusive and it's really fun." Meeting George, he is obviously a very sociable person. We asked whether he enjoys walking, jogging and running with other people. He said, the best thing about getting active with other people is that if you feel lonely or if you feel down and not yourself, other people will give you company and talk to you, which is really helpful. There's one event at my running club, Hyde Park Harriers in Leeds, called Run and Talk, which aims to bring people together and get them talking through running. It's the first Tuesday of every month, so you go for a run and then you chat about things, for example, about how you feel. And that's really, really important, to tell people about your feelings. Then they'll know how to help with that. What a pleasure it was talking to George Webster and getting to know him a little. As well as being a frequent parkrun participant, George has a varied media career. In 2021, he was announced as the first regular CBeebies presenter with Down syndrome. But he's also an actor, having appeared in a Channel 4 short film called Sam, and an avid dancer. George had the chance to make one of his dreams come true when he appeared in the 2022 Strictly Come Dancing Christmas special, Dancing the Charleston with Amy Dowden. Also in 2022, George was part of MenCap's Mythbusters campaign, which challenges misconceptions about what living with a learning disability means. Finally, let's find out about George's favorite parkruns. He told us, I had say my favorite parkrun is Woodhouse Moor because that is where I took part in my first parkrun and it is my local. It is also where all my friends go. I have also taken part in a parkrun in Sydney, Australia. I have done a few international parkruns now. I had the chance to meet lots of different people in Sydney and it was so nice to talk to everyone because I am a really social person.
What a lovely chap, and how good of him to take time out of his incredibly busy life to have a chat with us. That's it for this episode. It seems to have gone by really quickly. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about junior parkrun, finding out what it's all about and meeting some junior parkrunners. Thank you for listening to Parkrun Magazine. We hope you liked the features and enjoyed our simple ways to take steps towards a happier and healthier life. To find out more about your local parkrun event or collect a free copy of the printed magazine, head over to magazine.parkrun.com. Parkrun Magazine is created by Parkrun, with the audio version made possible through editing and audio adaptation by Imogen Lees and production by Like the Wind Media and Runcomm. If you enjoyed listening, please remember to subscribe, leave a review or share it with others. That's all for this episode. We hope you enjoy the next one.